Okay, it's been a while. I've been purposely waiting because I haven't been exactly sure what to say. It's been like a little roller coaster ride, as this whole thing has been. Continue to be short of breath. Had to quit one of my jobs because I just couldn't run it anymore. This was a newspaper route, and you have to get out of your car and run up to the driveway and deposit on a box and run back down and into buildings and out of buildings. And I was finding that I was desperate for air when I would get back to my car, and I was using an inhaler, which has become part of my life over the last year or so. Who would have ever thought, huh? I finally got a CAT scan done, and the CAT scan showed this next, there's been several, but the last one showed that there was an enlargement of the lymph nodes, the hilar lymph nodes, which are between the two lungs. And so from that, my oncologist decided I needed to see a pulmonologist to do a bronchoscopy. It's spelled like a bronchoscopy, but it's bronchoscopy. That's how it's said. So I went to the doctor, and I asked for her specifically, the doctor who had done the chest tube insertion when my lung collapsed. I trusted her. She came late at the hospital, sometimes after midnight, to do what she needed to do. She was very professional, and at the same time you had the impression that she cared and was dedicated. So I asked for her specifically. By doing that, I knocked a few weeks off of how fast we could move along, because she has quite a few patients. So it took 6 weeks to get in to see her, and she scheduled me for the bronchoscopy. That took another 6 weeks. So the whole process between the CAT scan that said that I had the enlarged hilar lymph nodes to the time of actually getting in there to take a look was 3 months. This all counts because, TikTok, if you've got cancer, you're moving from stage to stage to stage as you're waiting to get some diagnosis and treatment and this kind of thing. Okay, also I've got this pending cancellation of my insurance. I think this is going to happen in either August or September, because that's when the annual review come up. I've been thinking since February I was going to lose it any minute, but now that we're getting close to that annual review, I think that's when I will lose it. Okay, the bronchoscopy. This procedure is they put the little tubes down your throat. They can go through your sinus cavity, but they went through my throat. I've got a little bruise right here from whatever happened while I was under, and I was under. The anesthetic takes a little time to get over, but it wasn't a terrible procedure. I wasn't left with a lot of hoarseness, a little bit of sore throat. What else? Mostly it was the anesthetic. I coughed up a little blood, but not a lot. Nothing out of the ordinary for a bronchoscopy. My granddaughter was with me, bless her little heart. She goes through this every step of the way with me, and with almost no support for her. We are each other's support, as we have been through most of her life. And it just remains that way, and I'm afraid she's going to go to the end that way. And she says what I've always said in my life: you just got to get tough. That's all. You just got to get tough. Even if it hurts, even if you feel so alone, you just got to get tough. And so that's what she's taken up as her little flag, get tough. So, anyway, we got through that. It was a couple of days, and then yesterday I was going around doing errands, had to get my driver's license renewed, and the things you do every day. Paid my post office box bill, went to the post office, picked up the mail, went to the bank, deposited the check, all that kind of thing, and I got a call from the pulmonologist. Her name is Dr. Grace Kennedy. I always call her Dr. Kennedy, but in my mind I think of her as Grace. But she said, well, Trudy, we didn't get good news from the biopsy. And I said, oh yeah? And I'm driving, and I usually don't drive and talk on the phone, but this was so important I couldn't say, call me later. And I was kind of pretty much stuck in stuck in traffic anyway. I wasn't moving a lot down the highway. So she said, yeah, are you ready for it? There wasn't anything I could do, I was ready. So I said, yeah. She said, well, the cells came back squamous. And I had been reading forever on what could be going on here from the internet, and so I knew what that meant, lung cancer. And so I said, so it's lung cancer. And from the seat next to me, I heard my daughter. Yes, she turned her head. I knew she was crying. And the tears started coming down my face, too. I was trying not to make any noise. I was still on the phone with the doctor, and I had my granddaughter on the other side. And so I said, can you tell what stage? She said, not really until we do a PET scan. But just from her experience, she would guess maybe a stage 3. And I know this is serious business. I'm not going to survive this one. I beat the last cancer. 5-year survivor. Yay me, huh? I'm not going to beat this one. So she said, first thing we got to do is get the PET scan so we can find how far advanced it is. And then we can decide on a treatment. She's going to get the PET scan this next week. Scheduled for, less than a week away, so we can do this. And then with the results of the PET scan, I will go back to my oncologist office, and now we'll be dealing with lung cancer rather than a breast cancer survivor. She told me to take the day and just cry it out, and then call her next week, and if I've got any questions, she'll be happy to answer them. And I really don't have any questions until I know how far advanced it is and what the treatment plan might be, if there is a treatment plan. Because there comes a time when there is no treatment plan. And I'm not the type of person, I'm a fighter, but I'm not the type of person that I'm going to beat the dead horse, you know what I mean? There's no reason for me to go out of here bald. I got tons of hair. Since I lost it the last time, I've never cut it. I don't know, I want to go out bald and waste it away, and people look at this person that never even looked like me at all. So, it's time for me to get tough. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get tough. I will let myself cry. Don't even worry about that, because it's important to let those things out. They are damaging to the body too, and my body's going to need all the fight it's got to get as far down the road as I can. Right now, I understand that if it is a stage 3, and it probably is somewhere stage 3A, B, C, D, whatever, we're kind of limited on what we can do, and anything that we do is just to add another week or two or another month or two to the time. My goal at this point is to survive long enough to get my daughter to 18 so that she is a legal adult and can make her own decisions and can possess property. I lost my mother when I was 15, and I can tell you I've known my whole life, you always need your mother. I was so grateful that I raised my children and they didn't lose their mother. And that's the truth. I prayed for it the whole time I had them. Oh God, don't let me die before they're grown. And now my son is almost 40. My daughter's 33. And this granddaughter that I've adopted, she's 16. And she's going to live her whole life missing me. So I want to be sure that I give her the best jump off that I can. The good thing about having a grandmother raise you is that there's some property accumulated by the time that a person is old like me. I do have my house and property. I've given some to my son, some to my daughter, and a big chunk is going to go to my granddaughter. There's no mortgage on it. My car is just a few months away from being paid for, and my granddaughter will have a reliable car. I have a couple of little small businesses. They don't make much money, but I can hand one over to my son. He works it mostly anyway, and he gets the lion's share of whatever comes in anyway. I only get a few $100s a month out of it, so, but it'll be his finally after all these years that he's worked it. Things will work out. And I will go be with my husband and my sister and my friends that have gone before me, because by the time you're in your 60s, some have. I'm not going to take up any more time, because I feel like all I'm doing is just crying on your shoulder, and I don't want to do that. All the things aside, I really do have a positive outlook. I'm a very healthy person, except having lung cancer. My cholesterol is great. My blood pressure is perfect. I work really hard at these things. I exercise. It's been kind of limited because of the breathing, but I still get 96-97% oxygen with no help whatsoever. I'm on steroids right now, but that's because after the bronchoscopy, there's a lot of phlegm, and I'm feeling like I'm strangling on it, you know, because my body's reacting to having things shoved down there, you know. But I imagine there'll be other medications. Again, I don't want to go on and on. I just wanted to deliver the news. And then I'm going to try to maintain a little bit of a blog here, a video blog. And at some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to talk about smoking. Now, I quit years ago, and there's no telling whether this particular lung cancer is from the smoking that I did, or if it's from the radiation and chemo that I did to fight breast cancer. Both things could have caused it. Either one could have caused it. A combination could have caused it. I'm not ever going to know. No one's ever going to know. We can speculate. But I recognize that smoking is a bad thing. I knew that before. And I think I have some things to say about that. About how I quit. I quit cold turkey, but I tried so many times in so many ways. And I finally made it with this one little piece of knowledge that I got into my head. And so somewhere in the future, I might do a video on that. Other than that, right now I'm just going to sign off. And I'm just going to say, thank God I'm here today. Anybody out there listening, I thank God for you too.